Hey guys, how's it going? This is Purger of MediaAlternatives.net, your newest website for alternative news and media. I wanted to go ahead and talk up on this Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Well, not the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, but the most recent events of it, which are the Arab bombardment and most recently the land invasion, to my knowledge, that is coming about in it. Now, firstly, I want to address Obama's change, all right? Because weren't we all told that he's supposed to bring change? Now, and I could be wrong. Once again, hopefully I'm wrong. But think about this. This is supposed to be the same guy who's going to offer change. But, all right, here's an article here. It was on antiwar.com. It was actually posted here by Justin Raimundo, who is the actual he's the guy who started antiwar.com. Uh, article here. Obama on Gaza, no comment. This guy, he doesn't know what to say. I guess he's trying to take the politically safe way out, just like most of his votes were in Congress, where he voted present. He didn't want to be cold nor hot, so he'd rather stay lukewarm, right? Uh, I mean, look at this. I mean, there was no immediate comment on the Israeli airstrikes on Gaza from Obama, who was vacationing with his family in Hawaii, his staff. Let me see. This is how the incoming president reacted to the worst attack on Palestinian people in 20 years by not reacting at all. I'm on vacation. Don't bother me. I mean, just to think. So this is really bothersome and troublesome to me because I'm thinking to myself, is this what we signed on for? And when I say we, I don't mean, I mean us collectively. I'm not saying that I voted for him. I'm not saying that you voted for him, or for that matter, McCain. Hopefully you didn't vote for either one. But let's think about it. Today there was an article that just came out, and in fact, I just saw it on MediaAlternatives.net. Let me pull it back up here. I mean, 300 people in Gaza killed thus far. 300 people in the Gaza Strip. Yeah, over 345,000 killed in Gaza as Israel preps for ground invasion. And this was actually once again posted on Anti-War News. And like I said, it's a horrible thing. And 300 people dying, right? No comment. And this is the guy who we have running our country, or who is going to be running our country. And let's think about it like this, because and I want to address the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict here. A lot of people say, well, those crazy Hamas people, they started this by launching rockets into Israel. Well, do you know why they launch rockets into Israel? Do you understand that Israel bulldozes their houses? Do you understand that Israel destroys their homes and steals their land? Do you understand that Israel going into Palestine, whether it be in the West Bank or Gaza, is against international war law? Do you understand that? Do you understand that even though you could say, well, these guys have been fighting for millennia, so this is just a continuation? Well, heck, if I've been slapping you ever since you remember, all right, aren't you going to grow tired of it? Isn't there going to be a motivation to stop it? And even beyond that, this isn't the case. They haven't been fighting for millennia. There have been times where Palestinians and Jews have lived side by side perfectly fine. Have you listened to the arguments that Hamas has made? Have you listened to the arguments that Fatah has made? Their whole thing is that, okay, we're going to try and go ahead and roll it back. Let's say back to the borders that were established after the war. I think it was the 1964. Don't quote me on that. But right after the war that Israel had with Syria and had with Egypt and Jordan and a few of the other Arab states, there were borders there. And those borders were solid borders. I mean, these were the borders that were agreed upon. So that's all Palestine wants them to agree to. No, what Israel does is they set up settlements. And what these settlements are, they're illegal settlements that are placed on Palestinian land. All right, so you have these communities that are built on Palestinian land. I mean, look for yourself. There's a documentary. You can look it up on Google. It's called Peace, Propaganda, and the Promised Land. and it talks about how the Palestinians are being disenfranchised by the Israelis, how you have checkpoints everywhere, and how the Israelis place these settlements in such a way that they're strategically located. You also have to think about it, and you can Google this as well. Israel gives every one of their people a M16 rifle. And, in some of these settlements, it's compulsory. You have to have an M16 to stay in these settlements. Well, why do you have to have an M16, right? You're there for peaceful purposes. You're the great Israel. Why would the Palestinians want to attack you? Well, if you're staying on my land that I've been staying on, that my family's been staying on for 300 years, and you come in, bulldoze my house, disregard any contractual agreement that was established between me and whoever owned the land previously, or between me and my father, the land that my father grew up on, the land that I wanted my son to grow up on, and what I'm saying, just bulldoze my house. I mean, hell yeah, I'll be angry at you too. So, you have these people, they have to be armed, and you push people to radicalism when you destroy their land, when you chase them off of their land, when you occupy the territory, when you try and make people stay in a perpetual prison system, if you will, with checkpoints everywhere, with blockading people into a tiny little strip of land where you can barely grow anything, and anything that's shipped out is rigorously scrutinized, and you can barely get any goods in to sell in your store. And what I'm saying, where Hamas, it was recently where Hamas broke down the barricade and the people broke out. Now, they didn't go out and they didn't all suicide bomb Israel. No, they went out to Egypt and they got goods and they got Coca-Cola. There was a picture with the guy who got Coca-Cola. Uh, there were people who went out and got water for the lambs and sheep and stuff. I mean, these guys, what are they trying to do? They're trying to live. And what is Israel trying to do? Trying to police the people. What are they trying to stop them from doing? I guess what it comes down to is, do you want to die on your knees, or do you want to die fighting? And I think that when you push people and put them in a corner, that you do have a faction of those people who may die and who may accept their servitude, but you also have a small fraction of them who would die fighting. And I think that's what you see. And once again, whenever you see on the news, or whenever you see on CNN or NBC or Fox or whatever that Israel retaliates to Palestine or to Gaza when rockets struck an Israeli settlement, or when more recently they started calling them cities to make them sound like they were inside of the territory of Israel, when they are not. They're still settlements illegally built there. Whenever you hear that, think about the fact that, well, hey, these people are people too. And when these people don't have any resources, and when these people have been pushed to the brink, and all they can do is launch a few dumbfire rockets that 9 times out of 10 hit a field and don't hurt anyone. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. And think about, here comes Israel with smart weapons and smart missiles and uranium tipped missiles like the one they hit Syria with, uranium tipped missiles that they hit Palestinian men, women, and children with. You know what I'm saying? America's puppet state, where we sell them all sorts of weapons, where we sell them all sorts of exotic weapons for them to use on people who barely even, who are just trying to make a living. And to say that this is a threat to their state, come on. And to say, and to be a president and to say no comment, give me a break. When you don't say, when you say nothing, you still say something. And when you're over on vacation in Hawaii and don't want to comment and say, oh man, Israel, hey, stop bombing these guys, stop bombing these men, women, and children, and killing 326 people over the course of a few days. And what I would like for people to do is to look up the size of Gaza. Just go to Google Maps and check out the size of the Gaza Strip. It's a little few mile long strip of land, really narrow, right against the ocean. I mean, it's an extremely small piece of land. And you look at it, and these people are blockaded in here, and Israel is coming down on them with airstrikes and with tanks and with all these other people. I mean, what? It's completely unjustified, and it's completely crazy. And all I can say is shame on Israel. And even if they would say, well, the Palestinians need to stop retaliating against us. Uh, I say get off of their land and start there. Get off of the land that you all illegally took and start there and take out the checkpoints. Stop trying to control people and stop trying to police the population that was going to turn your Jewish state